not stop at 1993.
That's nice, and I think that's why you like this movie.
Yeah, it is.
Because you want to have another Argento movie.
It really is sentimental to me, yeah.
And, would I love to find another Wes Craven movie to like? Yeah. Do I rewatch fucking Deadly Friend and, Swamp Thing every few years to try desperately to like them?
Yeah, but he's dead now. Argento is still probably going to make a couple more movies before he
absolutely is going to make more movies, and
because of his ego,
I think. Because of his ego.
I think it's because of the fans, but...
Because the fans feed his ego.
I don't think it's the lack of passion that his movies are shitty.
No, I don't think it's a lack of passion. I think it's a lack of discomfort and a lack of struggle and a lack of... once you reach a certain comfort level, there's just,
Yeah, because most companies would produce a
Yeah, but he's not
film.
so dumb that he can't think that he can just live off his legacy and just put out whatever he wants and people are just gonna accept it. He's not that dumb. He knows he has to try.
I think he's that.
You really
I don't
do?
think he's that dumb. I think he's that egotistical.
I don't see it that way. I just think he lost touch. I think
that some guys
he definitely lost touch.
Some guys are misguided and think that their stuff is still good, and some guys are just egotistical and think that their stuff is still good and think that people will like it regardless of whether it is or not. I think he fits into the latter category.
Yeah, but he has to read reviews at least, or just get feedback.
He might not.
He has to get feedback at some point.
Maybe. I'm sure that...
Is he so, hard-headed? He's like, fuck you, this is great.
Well, I mean, he is an old man now, so he might have that old man, just not give a shit.
Did you ever see the documentary, Best Worst Movie Ever, A Troll 2?
Sure.
Yeah.
That director, he actually thought people loved it for what it was, and he found out he was fucking pissed. He's like, fuck you, this is a great film.
Here's the thing, though. Even if Fangoria said that Dracula 3D was a stupid movie and wasn't very good, they still put it on the cover of their fucking magazine.
Yeah.
Because of his name. Okay, you have legs there in this argument, but I'm not... But he has to know. The people who give him good feedback are probably just people close to him.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's surrounded by yes men.
But he has to... He probably doesn't do the convention scene over there if there is one.
No, I see him very rarely do anything convention-wise. I've maybe seen him at, I personally haven't seen him, but I've seen his name on the roster at,
something in Canada.
Yeah, maybe one or two in the last fucking decade or
even
so.
Then,
I think he did the big Rue Morgue one for their anniversary or something.
Okay, even then though, you're gonna get people kissing his ass.
So of course, nobody's gonna walk up to him and be like, "Hey man, do you like Hitchcock was terrible?"
Maybe. I mean, that's their stamp on...
Nobody trolls Dario Argento.
That's not even trolling if you really think that.
Well, it is, because why would you talk about the one movie of his that you hate when you have 15...
Yes.
That are good. Well, that's a stretch. 10 that are good to talk about.
Scott's making a ruckus.
I'm sorry.
No, you weren't. I noticed you were
I was trying to catch it.
Yeah, if I met John Carpenter, I would never be like, Memoirs of an Invisible Man was
no,
fucking
of course
stupid.
You would. Of course you wouldn't. But if you have a string of bad movies of fucking decades, 2 decades of bad movies, you might want to be like, hey, dude, I love you and shit, but come on, man. Can you watch your old films and watch your new ones and
really say that they compare?
Yeah. Scott, what do you score it?
Well, I would probably give this about the same as Lizard in Woman's Skin, about a 6.75. I enjoyed quite a bit about it. I enjoyed the score alone. I really fucking love.
Yeah, there was
anything with Goblin.
Some good musical
makes me happy
for sure.
Yeah.
They were placed in odd moments, which is typical of most Argento films I've noticed.
It was kind of cool though seeing an Argento film that I can appreciate with modern style clothing, I guess, because I haven't seen it in a while. Because all my favorite ones, it's fucking polyester, fucking shitty fashion styles. This one had I don't know why. I said that.
It has the
the
costume designer was great.
Because fashion's really important to you.
No, well, it is just a modern fashion thing. I'm used to seeing shit that no one wears anymore in Argento films.
Yeah, saying I love the kills. Every one of the kills were fucking really vicious and gruesome in very many ways.
Okay, yeah, in this movie he still has it in that aspect. Maybe not so much as direction.
Well, Stivoletti might still have it in that regard. I don't know who dreamed up the kills. A lot of the time, Savini dreams up his own kills. Maybe Stivoletti was the one who was like, well, this is what we're going to do. And, I don't know. I don't know who came up with what as far as that goes.
Come on, just give him some credit. Just say it was him.
What was
he
really
had the
lacking...
say, though.
when we were watching it, and you remember me saying during the train kill, like, if this doesn't happen, I'm going to be really mad.
Yeah, but I was wondering what you were talking about. Through the window?
I really expected that woman to, like, come through the glass in the train dead, because Dario always puts dead ladies through glass. That's his thing. Mm-hmm. That's his thing. And he didn't do it in this movie.
Right in the beginning of Suspiria.
Yeah, and I was going to say, one of my complaints I said earlier, though, is this was a really long movie, and you could kind of feel it. Like, there was certain scenes that could have just been completely edited out, which wouldn't have been necessary whatsoever to the story.
A lot of drag, for sure.
Like, it would have been... I think this would have been a really good... Like, I would probably score this higher if it was about an hour and a half and just, like, a cohesive story with, like, certain elements just taken out. Because there were parts that just drug on for way too long with unnecessary exposition and unnecessary camera shots and nothing else going on.
Some of his really long movies work. Like, like Phenomena works, and Deep Red works. And those are both pretty close to 2-hour mark, I think.
Right.
But this one would have fared far better at like an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, but the story was decent, and just like I said, it was with the length it kind of got executed poorly just because they just added way too much. But yeah, it would have been better if it was a shorter, cohesive story.
I'm thinking that about this podcast.
But all in all, 6.75 for me. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, watch it. If you haven't seen it and you know about Argento, and maybe you're one of those weirdos who've only watched the new Argento films.
If you're listening to this podcast, you probably know Dario Argento.
Oh, yeah.
And what would you give the score, Randy?
He already gave it, didn't you?
He didn't give a score.
I didn't score it.
He's just been like inputting with our review.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6.
What do you give Card Player?
A 4.
All right, so I approve my point. This is better than his newer movies.
Well, yeah, it's for a newer Argento movie, it's good.
Yeah, I was actually
for
quite
an
surprised.
Argento movie, it's not good.
Oh, look at that.
For a Giallo, it's not very good.
For a Giallo in 2000s, pretty good.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's like one of the last gasps of a dying subgenre, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying about that earlier.
All it really, 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 really has going for it is Max von Sydow, some gore and some nudity, and like a few like
dwarves
rehashed tricks that Argento like pulled out of his bag.
Yeah.
But the most important one was missing: no dead ladies through glass.
And he had the opportunity and execute it.
The perfect opportunity. If that lady would have come through the glass in that train, I think...
Right as she was walking down, like her friend was walking down the train?
Yeah, I think I would have given it like a 6.5 based on that.
Holy shit, one scene, huh?
Yeah, that one scene would have given it a lot more stuff.
Yeah, and that was another thing, too. That scene could have been cut back way... That was, like, way too long for a beginning scene. Like, it just... Like, there could have been some parts of it cut out, I think.
All right, I hate you guys. On to the next film.
What about that editor? Didn't you tell me all the victims were missing the same fingers he was?
Sure, you have wooden fingers, but who doesn't at times?
He was an up-and-coming editor before I met him. Before he almost killed his assistant.
Ah, the editor's gonna kill me. That was his work print. Interesting how that name keeps coming up. Editor.
You're married to Josephine Jardin, aren't you? The star of the Mirror Guillotine?
Here we go with the film talk again.
I really admire his films.
I don't want to see you around here anymore. You understand me? You take death with you wherever you go.
I saw him.
I saw him.
The black man.
The black man?
I was going to tell you it's the first good thing you've edited in an extremely long time.
Go ahead.
All right,
I fucking hit it.
This next film is The Editor from 2014, directed by Adam Brooks and Matthew Kennedy. They're known from their company Astron 6, who did Father's Day, and there's one other movie,
Manborg.
This is the score is done by Trevor Tuminski, which is an awesome sounding score. I love it.
Cool throwback 80s score.
Yeah, I was just about to say throwback.
It stars Paz de la Huerta as Josephine, Adam Brooks as Ray, the editor, Matthew Kennedy as Peter Periffi.
Is that Jamie Kennedy's brother? He looks a lot like him. You know who Jamie Kennedy is?
Yeah, I know who that is, but
isn't he in Scream?
Jamie Kennedy is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Is Jamie Kennedy Canadian? Because all these guys are Canadian.
Yeah, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Jamie Kennedy's also like 50 years old.
No, he's not. He's like 40.
I promise he's probably like 50 years old.
He looks just like him, though, this Kennedy.
That's how old he is now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll say why you do that. Udo Kier makes an appearance as Dr. Cassini.
Udo Kier so much.
Udo's creepy. Oh, the Theater Bazaar.
Yeah.
He's so creepy in that.
Yeah,
he's always creepy.
Yeah.
That's why I asked
He
you
just
about
looks
Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Night.
No, I haven't seen those.
And then
he's just a creepy looking guy. That's why he's creepy.
And then the other name I have is Lawrence Harvey, who plays Father Clark, who is also the obsessed fan in Human Centipede 2.
Yeah, the main guy in Human Centipede 2.
Oh, that's the main guy?
Yep,
Yeah.
the nasty fat guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Wizard!
He's in 3 too, right?
Yeah, he's the ward.
I love how the inspector keeps calling the priest a wizard.
Yeah,
Oh my
dude, this
God.
movie in general. Oh my god, like I was in tears rewatching this.
Oh, it's great. It's
I guess
fucking
he's
hilarious.
only about to be 47, so
Well, he's 46. You're
Pretty-
4 years off. I said 40 something.
pretty close to 50.
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying he looks like the guy. It's not saying he's his older brother of Jamie Kennedy.
Well, I mean, in order to be his brother, they'd be like 20 years apart, because I'm pretty sure that Matthew Kennedy's only like 30.
That's not true.
Let's see how old he is.
Old people fuck
Continue.
nowadays. Old people
All right,
still
well,
fuck.
the synopsis of this movie is Ray Ciso, the editor, was once the greatest editor of the world has ever seen.
Very, very close to my heart because I edit this podcast. So.
Exactly.
Not anymore.
Since a horrific accident left him with 4 wooden fingers on his right hand,
Just like Tony Iommi.
he's had to resort to cutting pulp films and trash pictures. When the lead actors from the films he's been editing turn up murdered at the studio, Ray is fingered as the #1 suspect. The bodies continue to pile up in this absurdist Giallo thriller as Ray struggles to prove his innocence and learn the sinister truth lurking behind the scenes.
Was that your own synopsis that you wrote?
Well, it was a mixture of mine and IMDb's.
Oh,
Ray
you
is
fucker.
wooden
I was going to say,
fingered.
that's really good if you wrote that yourself.
Ray is wooden fingered.
But yeah, this is just basically
As
a
the killer.
homage and a spoof to all Giallos. Like, just straight up.
Yeah, I was thinking about that watching this.
And not even just Gallows, because there's like a Videodrome nod and like like a From Beyond nod. And
Yeah. I was thinking when I was watching that, the humor in this, it could go both ways. Like, Giallo, like hardcore fans might look at this and like, they're poking fun at our favorite fucking genre. Or they can look at it as we're the only people that could understand this kind of humor.
Well, I know a lot of people who like just rabidly and ravenously hate the throwback movement. Like they hate Turbo Kid.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They hate,
We talked about that
Deathgasm
on that Scarecrow podcast. We talked about that.
I don't know. I think that it's just, it's like people that hate on Quentin Tarantino and Nicholas Winding Refn.
You do it.
What?
You've hated on him quite a few times in the first few podcasts. And
Well, we say that he steals ideas.
Yeah, he's like overrated and a plagiarist, but he's also a talented filmmaker.
I mean, if you look at it, he's kind of like an editor. He edits every fucking aspect of all the films that he loves and puts it into one film.
No, it's just popular to hate on him the way that it's popular to hate on 80s retro stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like digress a bit here and go off the rails, but I got into like I made a comment today on a very similar thread that someone started about like, oh, who do you think is the worst plagiarist, Tarantino or Refn or Zombie or Roth or whatever?
I didn't see that.
And like the thing that I always bring up when people start talking about this is that John Carpenter did the same goddamn thing 40 years ago, and people love him for it.
Yeah, well,
Halloween is his homage to Giallos, and Assault on Precinct 13 is his homage to Italian crime films, and Big Trouble is his homage to Shaw Brothers Kung Fu
I don't know if it's
movies.
an homage or his own spin on it.
I mean, that's like he'll come out and tell you that's,
Okay, he can tell you that, but I don't know if I'd necessarily look at it as his homage. This is his version of films that he likes.
That's just the same thing that Tarantino and Refn do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no theft or anything or taking pieces from anything. He just enjoys that type of film
See, Refn, like I wouldn't even like
if
throw